I never thought a random text could upend my life like a sudden dust storm rolling across the Montana plains. It was a crisp fall evening in Billings, where I'd built my quiet existence as a financial analyst, crunching numbers for local agribusinesses. The message popped up on my phone while I sipped coffee at my kitchen table, overlooking the vast, empty fields that stretched toward the Rockies. Check the attic before the reunion. You deserve the truth. No sender name. Just some anonymous handle, Justice Hunter 2026. I dismissed it as spam at first, maybe a hacker or a bored kid messing with me. But those words stuck, nagging like a burr in my sock. My name is Sarah Jenkins. And, at 35, I'd long ago learned to keep my head down in a family where speaking up meant stirring trouble. Growing up on our sprawling ranch in the Bitterroot Valley, I'd been the middle child, sandwiched between my ambitious older brother, Cody, and my polished sister, Riley.
Dad.
Hank Jenkins was the king of our world, a rugged cattle rancher who'd turned our land into a thriving operation, complete with oil leases that brought in extra cash.
Mom.
Evelyn kept the home fires burning, her apple pies legendary at county fairs. But Cody's death 10 years back had cast a long shadow, one we all tiptoed around. Official story: suicide by overdose. His truck found off a remote dirt road near the ranch. Depression, they said. But Cody had been my rock, the one who'd taught me to rope calves and stargaze on summer nights. He wasn't the type to give up. The family reunion loomed, a week at the old ranch house, now mostly rented out since Mom and Dad semi-retired to a condo in Bozeman. Dad insisted on these gatherings to keep the Jenkins legacy alive. I dreaded them, the forced cheer masking old hurts. That text,
Though.
it gnawed at me. 3 days later, I drove the winding highways back to the valley, the air thick with pine and sagebrush. The ranch house stood solid against the golden hills, its weathered logs whispering memories. My parents were away on a quick trip, leaving the place empty, perfect for a quiet poke around. Unlocking the door felt like stepping into a time capsule. The scent of leather and wood smoke hit me, mingled with Mom's lavender sachets. I headed straight upstairs, past Cody's old room, door shut tight as always, to the attic access in the hallway ceiling. Tugging the ladder down released a puff of dust, and I climbed up, flashlight beam cutting through the gloom. Boxes of holiday ornaments, old saddles, grandma's quilts. But in the far corner, behind a stack of faded ranch ledgers, I spotted insulation that looked out of place, patched hastily. Prying it back revealed a metal lockbox, its latch already jimmied open. Inside, Cody's journals, his beat-up digital recorder, and a USB drive labeled proof. My heart pounded as I flipped open the first notebook. Cody's neat scrawl detailed discrepancies in Dad's oil lease deals, underreported royalties, kickbacks to local officials, even falsified environmental reports to skirt regulations. Entries grew darker. Dad caught me copying files, shoved me against the barn wall, said blood is thicker than water, but traitors get cut out. Dates matched bruises I'd noticed on Cody, but never questioned. Mom saw it all from the porch, turned away like it was nothing. I plugged the recorder into my laptop back in Billings. Cody's voice, steady but edged with fear, filled the room. If you're hearing this, cease. Something went wrong. I'm not depressed. I'm planning to blow the whistle. Got a meeting with the Fed in Helena. But Dad's threats. He's got connections. Says accidents happen on ranches all the time. Hidden recordings captured Dad's growls. You think you're some hero?
Boy.
Exposing family business? I'll make sure you regret it. Folks around here know how to handle problems quietly. Photos on the USB showed Cody's injuries, black eyes, finger marks on his arm, interspersed with family snapshots where he stood apart. Eyes haunted. Tears blurred my vision. Cody had been fighting a war alone, protecting me from the fallout. The last entry, leaving backups with a trusted friend. If I disappear, tell Sarah I'm sorry. She deserves better than this mess. My phone buzzed. Justice Hunter 2026. He tried to warn you. Will you act? I packed for the reunion not with swimsuits and sunscreen, but with copies of everything. The invisible sister was done hiding. The ranch house buzzed with life when I arrived,
Dust kicking up under my tires.
kids, my niece Lily and nephew Jake, chased chickens in the yard. Their laughter cutting the tension I felt brewing. Riley, at 39, orchestrated from the kitchen. Her husband Travis grilling steaks on the back porch. Mom hugged me tight, her silver hair smelling of fresh-baked bread. Sarah, darling, you look tired. Work keeping you busy? Dad clapped my shoulder, his calloused hand firm, eyes sharp under his Stetson. Good to have the whole clan here. Legacy matters. Dinner was a spread of ribs,
Corn.
and coleslaw, the long oak table groaning under it. I watched them all, patterns emerging like in my spreadsheets. Dad dominated conversation, boasting about new leases. Riley chimed in about her real estate job in Missoula. But when Jake asked about the old barn loft, I seized the moment. Uncle Cody used to tell stories up there, I said casually. The table quieted. Lily tilted her head. Who's Uncle Cody? Riley shot me a look. Your uncle.
Sweetie.
He passed a long time ago. Dad cleared his throat. No need to dwell on sad times. Eat up. But I pressed on. He wasn't sad.
Though.
He was scared. Mom's fork trembled. Sarah.
Not now.
I met Dad's gaze. Someone messaged me.
Told me to check the attic.
Found Cody's stuff. Whispers rippled. Travis shifted uncomfortably. After dinner, as the kids roasted marshmallows by the fire pit, we adults gathered on the porch swing, stars blanketing the sky. You stirring up ghosts? Riley hissed. We moved on. Moved on from what?
Suicide.
Or something else. I pulled out a journal page. Cody documented everything. Dad's fraud. The threats. Dad's face hardened like granite. Boy was troubled, imagining things. Mom whispered, Hank, please. I played a recording snippet. Cody's voice. Dad said he'd make it look like an accident. Silence fell, broken only by crickets. Travis stood. I knew Cody was worried. He confided in me once. Riley gasped. You never said. Your dad warned me off. Said family first. That night, sleep evaded me. The house creaked like old bones. At midnight, I crept to the barn, following a hunch from Cody's notes. Under loose floorboards, another stash, more files, a hidden camera SD card. Footage showed Dad confronting Cody in the tool shed, voices muffled but clear. You rat me out.
Boy.
And you're done. My blood ran cold. Back inside, Travis waited in the shadows. I saw you out there. Cody gave me a drive-to dash cam from my truck. Caught enough that night. Why wait? I whispered.
Fear.
For Riley. The kids. But you're braver than I was. He handed over the drive. Use it wisely. As dawn broke over the mountains, I knew confrontation was inevitable. But maybe, just maybe, truth could mend what lies had broken. The morning sun bathed the ranch in golden light, steam rising from the dew-kissed pastures as cattle lowed in the distance. I brewed coffee in the kitchen, the aroma mingling with bacon sizzling on the stove. Mom shuffled in, her robe tied loosely, eyes puffy from what I suspected was a sleepless night. "Sarah, whatever you think you know, let it go. For the family's sake." I poured her a mug. "I can't."
Mom.
"Cody deserves justice." She sighed, stirring sugar endlessly. "Your father built this life from nothing. One mistake shouldn't erase that." Dad joined us, boots thumping on the floorboards. "What's this hush-hush?" His voice boomed, but I detected a crack. Riley and Travis appeared with the kids, who scampered off to feed the horses. We sat around the table, tension thick as Montana fog. "I found evidence," I said flatly. Cody wasn't suicidal. He was exposing Dad's oil fraud, skimming royalties, bribing inspectors. Dad leaned back, crossing his arms. Boy had wild ideas. Stress from college loans. Maybe. I slid printouts across the table. These are his notes. Dates, amounts, and recordings. I hit play on my phone. Cody's voice echoed. Dad threatened to handle me if I went to the feds. Says ranch accidents are common. Riley paled. This can't be real. Travis nodded grimly. It is. Cody told me bits. I should have spoken up. Mom buried her face in her hands. Hank, tell them it's not true. Dad's jaw clenched. I protected this family. Those leases kept us afloat during droughts. Cody didn't understand business, thought everything was black and white. The kids burst in, laughing, oblivious. Can we ride the ATVs? Grandpa, Lily asked. Dad forced a smile. Later. Pumpkin. Once they left, I continued. The footage from Travis's dash cam shows you arguing with Cody that night.
Dad.
Near the road where they found him. Dad slammed his fist. Enough. You want to tear us apart over decade-old nonsense. It's murder. Dad. Covered as overdose. Riley whispered. Overdose? The coroner said. Bribed? Probably. I cut in. Cody had no drugs in his system per his journals. He was clean. Mom stood abruptly. I need air. She fled to the porch. Dad followed. Then Travis. Riley turned to me, eyes blazing. Why drag this up now? We were happy. Were we? Ignoring Cody's ghost. She slumped. I saw bruises once. Dad said Cody fell riding. I believed it because I wanted to. We joined the others outside, the Rockies looming like silent judges.
Dad paced.
All right. I roughed him up a few times.
Discipline.
But I didn't kill him. His denial rang hollow. That afternoon, while the kids napped, I dug deeper. In Dad's office, hidden in a safe behind a rodeo trophy, combination his wedding anniversary. Predictable as ever, I found bank statements, offshore accounts, transfers matching Cody's notes, and a vial of pills, the same opioid found in Cody's toxicology report. My stomach churned. Confronting Dad alone in the barn later, hay bales stacked high, I showed him. This ends now. He sighed, shoulders sagging. Cody confronted me that night. Said he'd report everything. I panicked, slipped something in his beer. Thought it'd scare him off, make him sick.
But
he drove off.
Crashed.
Tears welled in his eyes, a sight I'd never seen. I called it in anonymously. Covered tracks. I stepped back, horrified. You let us believe he chose to die, to protect you all. The ranch, Our name. Riley overheard, bursting in. Dad, how could you? Mom arrived, face ashen. Hank. The family fractured right there. Accusations flying like arrows. Travis shielded Riley. We need to call the sheriff. Dad nodded wearily. Do what you must. As evening fell, sheriff's deputies arrived. I tipped them anonymously via email with snippets. They questioned Dad, who confessed partially, citing accident over intent. Handcuffs clicked, but he hugged Mom first.
I'm sorry. Evie.
I lost my way.
She wept.
We all did. The kids watched from the window,
Confused.
Lily asked, Is Grandpa in trouble? Riley knelt.
Yes.
But we'll get through it together. That night, around the fire pit, we talked raw, grief, regrets. Riley admitted ignoring signs for fear of losing Dad's support. Mom confessed turning a blind eye to keep peace. Travis shared how Cody's friendship had changed him, accepting him without judgment. I felt the weight lift slightly. Justice Hunter 2026 texted, You did right. Cody's at peace. Later, I learned it was Cody's old college buddy, Marcus, who'd hidden the box years ago, waiting for the right moment. He'd loved Cody quietly, in a time when small-town Montana wasn't kind to that. He made me promise to protect you, Marcus emailed. As stars wheeled overhead, I whispered to the night, We hear you now, brother. The path to healing stretched ahead, bumpy as a backcountry trail, but we were finally on it. Weeks blurred into months after Dad's arrest, the ranch feeling like a hollow shell without his commanding presence. The Bitterroot Valley gossip mill churned, neighbors whispering at the feed store, old friends avoiding eye contact at church. Dad sat in the county jail, awaiting trial on manslaughter and fraud charges. His lawyer pushed for a plea, involuntary manslaughter, citing the accidental overdose, plus white-collar crimes. Legally, it was cleaner than murder. Montana statutes emphasized intent, and Dad swore it was a rash act, not premeditated. But the feds piled on for the oil fraud, threatening decades behind bars. I threw myself into work back in Billings, spreadsheets a refuge from the chaos. But calls came relentlessly, reporters sniffing for scandal, Riley venting frustrations. The kids' schoolmates teased them about killer grandpa. How do we fix this? She'd cry over the phone. Mom visited Dad weekly, her face gaunt, loyalty warring with betrayal. He asks about you.
Sarah.
Says he's proud you stood up.
Proud?
The word twisted like a knife. I'd exposed him. Yet in quiet moments, I replayed his confession, panic, not cold calculation. Humane cracks in the monster I'd built in my mind. One crisp winter day, snow blanketing the fields, I drove to the jail. Dad looked smaller in his orange jumpsuit, gray hair unkempt. Didn't expect you, he grunted. I sat across the plexiglass. Needed to understand why. He rubbed his temples. Started small, fudging numbers to survive lean years. Oil companies do it all the time. Cody found out. Got righteous. That night, he begged for another way. I snapped. Tears tracked his weathered cheeks. Regret it every day. He was my boy. For the first time, I saw vulnerability, the rancher who'd fought blizzards and bankruptcies, cracking under pressure. You terrorized him. He nodded. Old school tough love. My potted worse. Thought it'd make him strong. We talked for hours, his fears of losing the land homesteaded by our great-grandpa, the weight of providing. Not excuses, but context. As I left, he said, Tell the family I'm sorry. Truth hurts, but it's freeing. Back home, Marcus visited, tall, soft-spoken, with stories of Cody's dreams, starting a music program for rural kids, escaping the ranch's shadows. He loved you fiercely,
Sarah.
said you were the family's heart. We pored over old photos, laughter mixing with tears. Riley joined one evening, kids in tow. Lily hugged me. Tell us about Uncle Cody. We shared tales, his guitar strumming by campfires, pranks on hair rides. Jake listened wide-eyed. Was he brave? Braver than anyone, I said. The trial loomed in spring, wildflowers blooming as if mocking our turmoil. Dad took a plea, 15 years for manslaughter, concurrent with fraud time. Judge lectured on accountability. Families aren't above the law. In court, Dad addressed us. I broke us. But maybe in fixing, we build stronger. Mom moved in with Riley temporarily. The ranch put up for sale to cover legal fees. Employees found new jobs, no one starved. Thanks to community support, Western resilience at work. Healing crept in slowly. Group therapy in Missoula helped, victims' families sharing burdens. I learned forgiveness wasn't forgetting, but releasing poison. Riley and I rebuilt bridges over coffee dates. Admitting our silences enabled the lies. I chose comfort over courage, she confessed. We both did. Travis organized family hikes, kids bounding ahead, forging new memories. One sunset atop a ridge, overlooking the valley. Lily asked, "Why did Grandpa do bad things?" I knelt. Sometimes people make mistakes out of fear, but owning them lets us grow. Marcus became a fixture, his quiet strength a bomb. He revealed Cody's hidden songs, recorded on that old device, ballads of hope amid hardship. We played them at a memorial picnic by the creek where Cody fished as a boy. Laughter echoed. Tears flowed. But joy won out. Dad wrote letters from prison, apologies, reflections. Learning here classes on anger, ethics. Wish I'd sooner. Mom replied. Visits turning tender. As summer heat baked the earth, I felt shifts. The invisible sister emerged visible, stronger. Truth's light, harsh at first, warmed us. Lesson whispered, families fracture, but with honesty, they mend, not perfect, but real. Cody's legacy, not vengeance, but vulnerability's power. The fall returned, leaves turning fiery red against the Montana sky, mirroring the slow burn of our family's recovery. The ranch sold to a young couple eager for roots, bittersweet. Watching strangers claim our history. Proceeds paid debts, with enough left for Mom's modest apartment in Bozeman. She dove into community volunteering, baking for shelters, finding purpose beyond Dad's shadow. Feels good to give back, she'd say over phone calls that grew warmer. I visited Dad monthly, conversations evolving from accusations to understanding. Read books on fraud's toll, he shared. Hurt more than I knew workers. Environment. He joined prison programs, mentoring inmates on business ethics. Irony not lost on him. Can't undo the past, but can warn others. Letters to the kids arrived. Stories of his youth. Gentle advice. Be kind. Question wrongs. Lily drew pictures for him. Jake wrote questions about ranch life. Riley monitored. Cautious but open. They're curious. Maybe that's healing. Challenges persisted. Thanksgiving felt hollow, without the full table. But we adapted. Dinner at Riley's Missoula home. Marcus joining. We toasted Cody, sharing funny anecdotes, his disastrous attempt at baking Mom's pie recipe. Flour everywhere. Laughter eased the ache. Travis proposed a family trust fund from remaining assets for the kids' education. Cody would have wanted that. We agreed. A nod to legacy, without fraud's taint. Winter storms howled, isolating but introspective. I started journaling, echoing Cody's habit, processing emotions, finding patterns in pain. Therapy uncovered my own resentments, feeling overlooked. Cody the golden boy, Riley the achiever. You all coped differently, the counselor said.
Now,
Choose unity. Riley and I attended sessions together, unpacking sibling rivalries. I envied your independence, she admitted. While I clung to Dad's approval, bonds strengthened, phone calls turning to plans, weekend getaways, kids' events. Marcus shared more. Cody's plans for us post-exposure, relocating west, starting fresh. He believed in redemption. Inspired, I volunteered at a youth center, teaching financial literacy to at-risk teens, spotting fraud, building futures. One boy reminded me of Cody, talented, troubled home. Guiding him felt like honoring my brother. Spring thawed the ground. Trials wrapping. Dad's sentence confirmed. 15 years. Eligible for parole in 10 with good behavior. He accepted gracefully. Time to reflect. Release rumors stirred anxiety. But we prepared family meetings via video, setting boundaries. Mom visited faithfully, their talks mending frayed threads. We married young, built dreams. Some shattered, but love lingers. A breakthrough came at Easter. Dad's first parole hearing loomed distant, but he requested a mediated family session. We gathered in a neutral room, guards outside, emotions raw inside. I stole Cody from you, he said, voice breaking. Fear drove me, losing the ranch. Respect. But I lost more, trust. My son. Tears flowed. Riley spoke. You broke us, but we're rebuilding. Mom. I enabled it. Sorry for not protecting. I added. Truth hurt, but it saved us from more lies. Hugs followed. Tentative, but real. Kids sent video messages. We miss you.
Grandpa. Get better.
Summer brought closure. A memorial stone by the creek, engraved with Cody's favorite quote, "Truth sets you free." We scattered ashes there, kept secret till now. Marcus played Cody's songs, guitar strumming under the sun. Lily danced, Jake tossed pebbles, asking questions. Uncle Cody watches over us? Always, I said. As harvest neared, peace settled. Dad's letters inspired. Learned humility. Value family over fortune. Riley's family thrived. Mom bloomed in independence. I dated casually. Openness replacing walls. Marcus became a confidant. Our bond platonic, but profound. Lesson crystallized. Revenge destroys. Truth. Tempered with compassion. Rebuilds. Cody's death birthed growth. Painful, but purposeful. Years blended like seasons in the West, harsh winters yielding to vibrant springs. Dad paroled after 12 years. Aged but reformed, moving to a halfway house in Helena. First family dinner. Awkward, but genuine. No more secrets, he vowed. Helping with dishes. He worked community service on ranches, teaching sustainable practices. Making amends. Mom welcomed him back gradually. They remarried quietly. A second chance built on honesty. Riley's kids grew. Lily, artistic like Cody, painted ballet scenes. Jake pursued environmental law. Inspired by the fraud. To prevent what happened, he said at graduation. We gathered annually at a new cabin, modest. Memory-filled. Stories flowed. Cody's legacy of courage. Marcus married, but remained family, his kids calling me Aunt Sarah. I rose in my career, consulting on ethical agribusiness, preventing frauds like dads. Therapy continued, scars fading, nightmares lessened, replaced by dreams of Cody smiling. You did good. Cease. The light lesson. Truth exposes wounds, but love heals them. Families aren't perfect, they're resilient. In Montana's vastness, we found space to forgive.
Grow.
Cody's truth didn't destroy, it redeemed.